So in this episode of Inspire and Be Inspired, I'm interviewing Sadiya of Afas Desserts. Now Sadiya is actually someone I personally know, and I've witnessed her grow from strength to strength within her business, and it's been so inspiring to watch. And I hope you can take some inspiration from her story and use it to help you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So welcome Sadiya to Inspire and Be Inspired, Queen Afa. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. Yes, Queen Afa in the building.
Well, I've given a little bit of an introduction about you and your business in the intro, but I want to give the viewers a chance to hear it from you. So obviously you've got a bakery business or a cooking business. Yeah, I want you to just tell us a bit more about that.
Sure. Thanks for having me first and foremost. And I didn't realise how nervous I would be, so forgive me if I do forget things and I might ramble off on one. But yeah, so Afas Desserts was born 4 years ago, and Afa means sister in Bengali. Being the eldest of 7 siblings, it only made sense to me to call the business something that was rooted towards my background, and as well as sort of my heritage, as well as tying in with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
So I initially started off baking, and I started off doing like markets and pop-up stores, etc. And just through interaction with people, a lot of individuals were looking for caterers to provide like lunch or breakfast for their meetings, because a lot of the pop-up stores that I was doing was based in corporate buildings. So naturally, like, the business just grew from that. And you don't find many people that can bake and cook at the same time.
Yeah.
So in a way I was like, oh, this kind of makes sense. And when you think of baking, you naturally, like, your mind thinks of cakes or cookies or brownies or whatever it is. But I don't think many people realize, like, because you can bake bread, which is savory, you can bake pies or lasagnas or whatever it is, it's still part of the process. So I thought, actually, yeah, why don't I explore and see how that goes? And just through experimenting and having a passion for food, I ventured into catering, and that's how the business has grown naturally. So here I am, catering, doing breakfast, lunch, afternoon teas, celebration cakes, all sorts of stuff. So yeah,
Fantastic. And I've known you for a few years now, and I've seen you grow your business, and I've seen the business growth over the last few years. But what actually inspired you to get started in the first place? What, encouraged you to take that leap of faith? Because there'll be many people watching this that may have a business idea or want to start some form of side hustle, but may just lack that little bit of confidence or drive to actually get started. And getting started is actually probably, one of the biggest challenges. So what inspired you to take the leap of faith and get started?
You're absolutely spot on. As soon as you said it's that starting, you just reminded me of when I was at uni or just in education. And when you're tasked to write an essay of some sort, it's always the hardest thing to start, because you can write the main body or the conclusion straight away, but it's the introduction, you don't know where to begin. And I think for me, my journey, I've always loved baking, always. And growing up in a South Asian household, baking really wasn't a thing. It was more about cooking, hence where the cooking side comes from. But I was introduced to sort of traditional Western, British, American style baking at GCSEs.
Okay.
So then that's when I would practice at school and learn how to, I guess, find techniques, and then I would experiment at home. And everyone knew, like, oh, Afa's the baker. What's she baking today? Like, you know, relatives would come and visit. They were like, you know, they would smell the house as soon as you open the door, and it's like, what have you got on today, sort of thing. But I think, to answer your question quite concisely, over the years, because I went to study university, I studied something completely different. I studied theology and sociology, which marries the theory of God with, you know, community. But then I fell into the corporate world, which was a fantastic opportunity, but it made me realize, like, it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And funnily enough, I've been listening to Oprah Winfrey this morning, and she talks about how when you find your purpose to serve, you can shift the paradigm of your job and be able to live out your gifts. And I thought, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I knew what I was doing in life, it didn't feel right. And I was miserable. Every day I would wake up and I just didn't have that hunger in me. But I always knew I wanted my own business. I just didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to go. I was lacking confidence. I didn't know if I was good enough. I didn't know if people would pay for my products, even though, like, for years, all of my friends said, no, Sadiya, you should start. I had a couple of friends saying, oh, let me invest some money and help you start up, buy the equipment that you need. And again, it was just this little voice in the back of my head that said, no, you're not good enough. Like, people aren't going to pay for your stuff. And then one day I was tired of being miserable, of going to work and not having the energy that I knew I possessed. And I wasn't able to reflect that in my job because I just wasn't happy. And again, it wasn't feeling right. And one day I just said, you know what? Enough. I surrender. I can't do this anymore. I want to live a life that I love. How can I do that? And I thought, okay, I had to remind myself and actually ask myself. I guess in a way I was meditating, because I would check in with myself, like, what do you love doing? Yeah. Where do you go to heal? What do you find yourself doing last thing at night? And it was baking. I would be literally watching YouTube videos, teaching myself how to, like, find skills, or learning how to make a product or an item. Or if I was ever, like, upset or annoyed or angry or whatever it was, I would be in the kitchen, I would bake in something to make myself feel better. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so it's really healing, and I love giving. That was the element that kind of, like, tied it in for me, and made me realize, like, it's not even just the process of being in the kitchen, because when I'm in the kitchen, I'm my absolute best. Yeah. But it's that here you go. It's like, I've made this with love. I've made this with my own bare hands, and I've poured all my love, all my energy, and I'm nourishing my soul through yours. Here you go.
I mean, I feel it. You know, I'm someone who's purchased some of your products. You know, your cakes they're absolutely mouth-watering. And I mean, you can tell the passion that you put in, you know, when you make them, which is why you have repeat business, which is why, you know, I'll keep coming back, you know, when I need some cakes or, you know, whatever. And it's why I keep recommending you. And another reason why I wanted to get you on this show, because it's so inspiring, you know. And I think you touched on a lot of points there through your journey, because a lot of people have lots of fears, like you mentioned. Am I good enough? Are my products going to sell? What if it fails? And you got to a point where you just kind of said, do you know what? I'm doing it. And sometimes, you know, that point happens longer than others. Sometimes it happens quick. But I'm hoping that with this channel, we can help to inspire other people that may have been on a similar journey to you, and may have, you know, always had this business idea or project that they wanted to get started with, but haven't actually started. So props to you for getting started. And also big props for, you know, 4 years. Is it 4 years or 5 years now? Later?
4 years.
4 years later.
Yeah, just turned 4, yeah.
You're still going strong, and it's actually your full-time business now. So
that's it.
Know, fantastic.
You're so kind. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. I think I recognize through my journey, because I mean, the journey that I've been on is for at least 10 years, like figuring out what I like to do. But I think to answer your question in one word is passion.
Mm-hmm.
I realized what my passion is.
Yeah.
And that took a lot of work to just figure out. So
yeah. I think you've kind of touched on it in some of your answers, but you know, with business, there comes a lot of struggles, a lot of difficult times where you fail, times where you fail again, things aren't working, and things are just sometimes just not working out for you. So this is something that I've experienced, you know, as well. But
yeah,
what keeps you motivated? What makes sure that you keep going and that you haven't quit, essentially?
That's such a good question. That is such a good question. What keeps me motivated? What keeps me motivated is knowing that I'm living my purpose and living my passion. Again, going back to when I mentioned about Oprah and recognizing that it's not, I don't see it as a job. I genuinely see it as, oh, so-and-so's sisters, brothers, uncles, whatever needs a cake, and they've asked me out of every other person that they know, or every other business that has been, you know, established for however long, whether it's, I don't know, Lola's Cupcakes or Hummingbird or, you know, whoever, they haven't chosen to go there. They've chosen to come to me. And I think that is what keeps me motivated, because it's like, right, I can't let this person down. This is somebody's like baby shower or birthday or wedding, and I have to make sure that I'm on job and on point, because it's not just one person I'll end up letting down. It's going to be the whole, you know, celebration or party or whatever it is. So I think that's what keeps me motivated. And also knowing that, again, just going back to just passion, and keep saying it, because it is so rewarding for me, it's not just about the end result of, here you go, passing on a cake. What I love is once I'm done, like, don't get me wrong, I'm exhausted. It's very, very labor intensive, because you got to deep, like, it's not just the baking. Lots of people ask me, oh, how long does it take to bake a cake? Well, I mean, it takes 20 minutes, half an hour to put it all together, and then maybe another 20 minutes in the oven. Then you've got to let it cool down, and then you've got to fill it.
I think I just want to pause you there, because that's how long it takes you, because of all your hard work and your practice over the years.
Right.
You know, it may take someone a much longer to bake a cake, you know, hours.
Absolutely.
If I was to bake a cake, it would take me hours for sure.
Listen, it used to take me like 4 hours just to fill and crumb coat just the first layer of ice in the cake. It used to take me 4 hours, and now it takes me like 10 to 15 minutes. So that in itself is a massive contrast. But what I'm saying is, it's not just about being in the kitchen. I've got to creatively now map out everything that, you know, you as a client have told me, this is what you want. And I've got to like have the vision, put it together, make sure it makes sense to you as a person who's ordering. Then I've got to go and get the supplies. Can I get the supplies? Then we had a lockdown, and then flour and eggs went missing because everyone became a baker. So it was like, oh my gosh, where am I going to get everything from? And then it's like, you know, making sure you've got all the packaging, the delivery, like how it's going to get from A to B is going to be secure. And like, even understanding that, it's so funny, because I remembered when I was first starting out, I didn't know what size board went in what size cake box. Literally for hours, I was like, does an 8-inch cake board go in a 10-inch cake box? Obviously it makes sense, an 8-inch goes in an 8-inch, but I didn't know that. And I had to figure that out. So what I'm saying is, in a way, like, all the knowledge and the wisdom and all of that, on top of not wanting to let anyone down, as well as, because I'm talking about the learning process. And what I love about baking is, it's not just a one size fits all. It's not just, I've learned how to make this, now I'm done. No, it constantly keeps pushing me. And I love that I get to be a student every single day. That's what keeps me motivated. I get to learn.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, there's so many things to touch on there. I even got goosebumps at one point just just listening. But essentially, yeah, your passion and your purpose are essentially what keep you motivated. You know, your purpose to serve others and to give, that's what you really benefit from, and that's what makes you happy. And it definitely comes across in your products, for sure. Yeah. Now you also touched
loving
on
the gas.
Say that again.
Loving the gas.
Oh, always gas. You touched on it a little bit earlier about how you've grown your business, but I wanted to make a point here, because a lot of people, when they're starting their business, they say, I need this, I need that, I need to get a website created, I can't start until I've done this, whatever. Now, websites is a great way to grow your business, but you're actually 4 years deep and you've managed to grow your business without a website. And you know, we've had discussions about this, because I've been really wanting you to get a website, because I think it will help massively. But having said that, you're in a full-time business without a website. No website, no problem. You're still going. So what are some of the other ways that you've been able to grow your business and continue to grow it, and yeah, make it a full-time job?
You're so funny. Yeah, you're right. I don't have a website, and I've been trying. And you know what? I just can't. I don't know how to do it. I just don't. So I'm like, do you know what? I know my skills are in the kitchen, innit? Yeah. And I know that my skills are with baking and people. My skills ain't online. It's fine. Yeah. I don't need to be the best at everything. But as long as I'm good in like some avenues, the other things, it doesn't matter. It's fine. So the way that I've managed to build my business is word of mouth. Like I said, I started when I initially started the business, I was doing a lot of pop-ups, a lot of markets, etc., because I saw the value in being present at the stores. And I was able to meet people, I was mingling, I was chatting, I was bantering, and that's what I loved, because I had a lot of friends also that used to come and support and just like chat to me whilst I was on the stall. Because again, another thing people don't really deep, when you're on the stall, that's it. Like I can't just run off and go to the toilet and leave all my goods. I'm just there. So I used to get some people to come and help just so I can have a toilet break, or just so I can like have something to eat, because I'm standing there for hours. But what was really nice to hear, the feedback that I got from a lot of friends was, now I'm just quoting, I'm not trying to gas myself, because I like to be humble, but they would always say like, Sadiya, people don't just come back for your cakes, they come back for you. Yeah. And I just thought, oh, that is so nice. And I never really understood that until I recognized the fact that people were coming back and I was getting repeat business, and it wasn't just a one-off. And also the value that not just what I got, but also the clients, because let's say, you know, somebody would need a cake, I'd be on the phone to them for an hour talking about everything else but what they need. So it's like being able to have that conversation and talking to someone as if they're a human being, which has allowed me, I guess, to flourish in my avenue, because I'm very much a people's person. So like whatever worries or concerns, I'm here to like lift you, I'm here to listen, I'm here to help guide or support or whatever it is. And I'm also here to bake. So, so all the different avenues it kind of gave me. And so also I started off the business with the help of the Prince's Trust.
Yeah.
Now, with the Prince's Trust, they give you a year, and it was a course called Explore Enterprise.
Yeah.
I think, gosh, this is like 5-6 years ago now. I think it's called Explore Enterprise. Anyway, it's not an ad.
Or enterprise
So
program or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, I'm gonna put that's a good point, you know, because I'm gonna put that in the description box, because if you're between the ages of 18 and 30 and you're working part-time or there's a certain criteria, but the Prince's Trust are a fantastic organization to help you get started with your business, help you grow your business. And you know, I actually went through the Prince's Trust myself as I was growing my business. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so and it's funny because neither of us knew that until we started talking to each other. It's like, oh wait, you did the course? Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So I started off because I knew I have strengths in some avenues, but I need help in others. So that's where I kind of looked to see what resources are available to me. And then I found Prince's Trust. There's loads of other companies as well. I think there's Virgin Startups, and I think NatWest might even do one. I can't remember, but anyway. So I went to them and they helped me write out my business plan, which I think took about 6 months. And then they kind of throw you into a Dragon's Den type scenario at the end. And it's not so that they can like grill you, but it's more of a sense of them recognizing how else they can support you as an individual. So they can either ask for money or mentoring, or even both. I asked for mentoring just because I knew I needed someone who was impartial and that didn't know me and who could help me business wise. So through that avenue, my Explore Enterprise program mentor put me forward to become an ambassador for the Prince's Trust.
Yeah.
I didn't know ambassadors existed. I was literally just going along, like doing what I was doing, trying to, face front and like work on the business. And then she just sent me a message, and because she knew I was all about giving and providing back to the community, etc., said, okay, I'll put you forward for this role, like let me know how you get on, you might get a call or asked to go in for an interview. So I was like, okay, cool, not knowing that it was a whole different stream. And I found myself giving speeches in essence to these big boy companies, and they're listening to me and my journey, and I'm like, this is mad. What's going on? Like, I would literally be stood in front of a room of like 500 thousands of people, and here's little old me going, yeah, I'm a baker.
Yeah.
But then again, it was through that personal testimony, being vulnerable, just sharing what I love doing. People again came up to me. Some of the times I had to run off because I'd had a cake to make, or I had an order to get back to, or whatever it was, or I couldn't stay out too late because in the morning I'd have to get up early because I had another job on. But people literally would flock to me and ask for my business cards and be like, oh, can I have your details? Have you got a website? I'd always refer them to my Instagram because that's how I showcase my portfolio. But that's also another avenue. So the pop-ups, the market stalls, the speeches that I did at the corporate events, and that's just how
networking.
That's it.
It's absolutely networking. I mean, I've actually got a video on why networking is important for business growth. So check that out in the business playlist.
Put a link up there.
Yeah, it's up there. It will go somewhere. But yeah, no, I mean, it's been amazing, watching you grow, and I've seen it firsthand. And I mean, we won't have time today, and I didn't brief you on today, but you have an even more inspiring and more amazing story, which you mentioned you talk about to the princes, to the corporate people, which maybe one day we'll explore that. Maybe not. We'll see how it goes. But I also wanted to ask you. The channel, the name of this playlist is called Inspire and Be Inspired. So what inspires you?
Gosh, What inspires me? You guys, I swear down, and I'm not even just trying to like fob off the question. Genuinely, it's everyone who comes to me, because I'll tell you a story. Quite recently, I had a client, one of our friends actually, mutual friends, and she said, Sadia, I really want this cake, but I want stuff to come out of it in the middle. And I thought, what on earth is this? Are you joking? And then she went, yeah, I'm really sorry. Like, if you can't do it, then I was like, no. I need to test my skills. I need to push my boundary because, again, I don't want to be complacent. So I was like, okay, fine. So I'm like looking online, looking at videos, trying to figure out like if I can do this. And then I got somewhat of an idea in my head, because it always starts with a vision here. And then I can like sketch it out, and then I'll practice it in person. So I said, okay, do you know what? I'll do it. Let's see. Why not? Right. So I've done the cake now. I've done everything, got things ready, cleaned everything down, put stuff in the middle. And now I go to put the cake on this contraption. Now she's messaged me saying she's 20 minutes away. So I'm like, okay, cool. I've left the last bit, that putting the cake on the contraption, because basically you pull it at the bottom and then it pops out. With the center of the cake literally pops out on a stand, and then it's got stuff inside, so it could be money or a phone or whatever gift you want to put in. It pops out. So I'm like, okay. So I've left it till the last minute because I needed it to be sturdy and I didn't really want to handle it too much. So she's messaged me going, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I've put the cake on the contraption. The blasted thing broke in two. And I've gone, oh my days. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I could feel the levels of anxiety rising. My eyes were filling up with water. And I was like, I was a bag of nerves. And I thought, what am I going to say to her? Like, she could literally turn up and there's no cake. Like, a part of me wanted to dash the whole thing, because I was like, I can't. What am I going to do? It's split in two. The whole cake is split. What am I going to do? And I was like, right. Take a minute. Breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe for a moment. Compose yourself. And then I literally just had to check myself. This could either make you or it could break you. Which one do you want to go down? What road do you want to go down? And I thought, all right, cool. I took on this job and I knew the difficulties. I didn't know how many difficulties, but I knew the difficulties. I was like, right, let's go. You've got all this knowledge. Put your big girl pants on and let's do this. So now I've got the cake and I'm like, right, it's cracked. It's fully cracked in two. Okay, I'm pushing it together now, because I've decorated it. Everything is smooth. It's got the decorations on the top. It's got the drip on the side. And now I'm pushing this thing together. So now it's got my fingerprints all over the cake because it was chocolate ganache. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now it's got my fingerprints all over. So I was like, okay. So I had a bit of leftover like filling. So I've got that, and now I've like filled in the cracks like as if I'm a bricklayer and cementing. So now I'm texturing the cake, adding more, I guess, design to it to try and like cover it. Putting sprinkles, again, just utilizing all the knowledge that I had. And I'm like, okay. So I finally got it to look somewhat presentable. And then the client came and I said to her, look, brethren, you nearly didn't have a cake, yeah? So I'm just letting you know, I'm so sorry. I know this is what you asked for, but please just forgive me. This is like the difficulties that I've been experiencing. If you don't like it, tell me now, then I can sort of somewhat fix it whilst you're here. But here you go, ta-da. She absolutely loved it. Bless her. She was like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be stressing you out. You've got a 4-month-old baby. Like, I can't believe I put you through this. And I was just like, no. I value the fact that you believed me to be able to create this for you. And again, having that student mentality, it's like, okay, let's go. Let's keep pushing myself. So, yeah. This is why I say you guys, because even though I get a madness amount of different inquiries, and I'm like, bro, what do you expect me? How do you expect me to bake this? But I'm like, you know what? I've got to test my skills. But sometimes I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You need to go somewhere else. But it's knowing, it's knowing what I can do and what I can't do, and what I'm willing to like explore. And so it's definitely my people's, my clients, everyone.
And I actually, you know, I saw that cake. I was at that party, and it looked amazing. You know, I would never have known this story, the struggle, the fact that you got the middle bit to pop out with the money inside. It just looked, it was amazing. And what I find with a lot of, you know, bakers is they can make really beautiful cakes, but they're not necessarily, you know, the nicest cakes. They're just beautiful. Whereas with your cakes, they actually taste so amazing. The sponge is always proper. In fact, you spoke a little bit earlier about, you know, giving, and how, you know, your friends mentioned that people warm to you. And I was at a different birthday the other day, and talking to the guy who ordered the cake from you. And, you know, he was just singing your praises, you know, saying how lovely you are, how amazing it is to order from you, and also how amazing.
I'm gonna cry. This is so nice.
And just to give you some more gas, when people were eating the cake, they were like, wow, this sponge is amazing. This sponge is delicious. So so check Sadiya out. So
I'm actually welling up. Like, that is so nice.
And this is facts, you know. This isn't any non-truths. This is all facts. These were conversations that I had, and this is testament to you, your hard work, your skills, and your passion for what you do. Now, just to finish off, I want to ask you if you have any final thoughts, anything else you want to share, any shout outs or anything like that, and also where people can contact you if they want to hit you up.
Sorry, I was a little bit emotional still. What was your first question?
Do you have anything else you want to add? Anyone you want to shout out or plug, and also where can people find you? Contact you.
Well, sadly, I don't have a website, so you can find me on Instagram. My tag is Afas, which is AFAS Desserts, all one word. Afas Desserts. That will showcase everything.
I'll put it in the description box.
Excellent. I do have a Facebook page, but listen, I'm not very tech savvy. I'm not very good online. So please just forgive me from now. I'm much better in person, I think. I do have a Facebook page if you're more on that platform, which you can contact me on, but I'm not on it often as I am with Instagram. And I think on my Instagram, it's got my either contact number or email. I have to double check what it's got on my bio, but just send me a DM if you've got any questions, if you need an order, or if you just want to hit me up and say hi. Let me know. I don't really know if I've got anything else to say in terms of like any last thoughts, but
well, I want you to add one thing to the viewers and subscribers that have been watching so far, and just remind everyone to support the TING.
Support the TING, blood. Come on.
But on that note, thanks for coming. It's been lovely talking to you, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And honestly, your journey has just been just as incredible to watch. Keep doing what you're doing. And as China said, support the TING, because the hustle is real and the passion is real. So peace out.
Peace and love. You got to do peace and love.
Peace and love.